that. Sorry, we couldn't get it on the screen, so you can just follow. Please go ahead, the national anthem, please.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land, whose triumphs of believer in brotherhood we stand. Nigeria's old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace all battle honored, and history counts us king. To hand unto our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
Thank you, everyone. Please have your seats. I think every time that national anthem is recited, you should end with that amen, right? It's really a deep prayer. All right, without wasting much time, apologies again for starting behind schedule. What I can tell you is the reason why that happened was because our special guest was also engaged in other diaspora matters, all to be able to ensure that the Nigerians in diaspora, especially in France, they're able to get quality life and be able to advance. So he did not come late just because he wanted to come late. He had been saddled with other important engagements, and he also maybe touched on that, during the course of the engagements. Before we start, I would like to just recognize different dignitaries amongst us. I know right now in the room, we have high-level and very important persons. I can see the past president of Nigerians in diaspora in Europe. Welcome, sir. I can see also executives of the Nigerian Diaspora Organization in France. I'm also seeing Honorable Banji also here. Thank you, sir. I can see the APC chair in France, Madam Suzuki also here. And also other dignitaries. We also have a representative from our embassy. We're also expecting later on our ambassador here, the Charge d'Affaires, Honorable Ambassador Shegun Giwasa will be here joining us very soon. So without wasting too much time, there's a lot to do today, and we've been gathered because of one reason, and that's because all of us share something in common, and that's the love for motherland. So regardless of our tribes, regardless of our affiliations with other diaspora groups that belong, the reason why we are here is because we all share a strong passion for Nigeria. And that's what has brought us here. And like, I used to say, I mean, I've very many times with my colleague, says there's nothing wrong with Nigeria that cannot be corrected by what is right with Nigeria. And one of the very things that is right with the country, regardless of all that is going, not going so well, is the people. We can't deny the human resource. And, based on also my own application of the experience I had, when I came into France, one of the challenge we had with integrating into the society was when I came in about 10 years ago, you had people who would say, oh, Nigerians are known for corruption, for prostitution, for many things. And it was very hard to be able to convince French stakeholders that no, that is not just the narrative about us. We are good people. And one of the challenges we took with some of my colleagues is that we started organizing events. And I remember many years ago, we had an event hosted by the president himself, President Macron. And in that event, we lobbied different governments to give us like 10 minutes, in the slot to make a statement as diaspora members. And so what we did was we didn't go alone. We rallied around some Nigerians that have been in France for a long time doing businesses and succeeding. So we took a few of them. We had somebody who was into automobile, making at least 10 million euros annually in revenue. Somebody was in Goldman Sachs, renewable energy. At that time, Goldman Sachs had invested 5 million euros into his company. We took some of those people and then we took them for the meeting with the French president and some of the stakeholders there. And what we said is, we just gave the people mic. Please tell them what you're doing as a Nigerian based in France. And for the very first time, people were talking about owning an establishment with 70 employees. They're the only Nigerian as the founder of the company and all full French people. The French stakeholders were surprised. And I told them, this is just few Nigerians in France. This is just one. And so from that, we started seeing, a different level of, engagement, because there was now more respect. And here in this room, I want to celebrate those who traveled as far from the south of France, from Nice, from Strasbourg, from, Grenoble, and all over, just to be here. Your sacrifice, your time, your investment speaks volume that you believe in this cause called Nigeria. And that's why in this gathering, we're not here to complain and point accusing fingers to what the government is not doing well, to what things we're coming here to be able to also offer solutions that even as Nigerians abroad, we can do greater things. And that is what the power of unity is. Together, we stand, divided we fall. A house that's divided against itself cannot stand. And so we have the pleasure here of having a distinguished, I also call him, if someone was talking about diaspora, you might not see his tired face when he comes on stage, but he's been, in just the past few days, he's been engaging Nigerians in Canada. From Canada, he flew all the way to Italy, engaged people in Milan. He went also to Rome, and he felt this would not be complete if I don't engage with Nigerians in France. And I think we're lucky to have him amongst us. Please, can we just celebrate in our presence the Chairman House Committee on Diaspora, Honorable Sir Tochukwu Okere, in our midst. Can we celebrate him? Thank you so much, sir. And today really is about him. Today is about Nigerians. And all he has come to do is to say, even though I have a busy and tight schedule, I want the people or Nigerians in France to engage me. I want to hear from them. What are the challenges? How can we collaborate with the government? How can we move the cause of Nigerians in France together as one? As I mentioned to you, the reason for starting this behind schedule was because he had been in meetings from about 12 p.m. this afternoon up until he entered this room, just putting his weight and seeing how we could give an audience. And he tried to make this as interactive as possible. And that's why when he comes on stage and we invite him, what he wants to do really is to listen to us, to be able to answer our questions. He's representing not just the government, but he's also representing himself as somebody who is in charge of our matters at the House of Reps. So there is nothing we can do but without working with the government. No matter how much we try to take it back and forth, and that's why I do what I do. So I tell people, you can be an investor, you can make 1 billion euros, but how many people can you solve their problems educationally? Even if you decide to sponsor 1,000 students, you'll be trying your best, but just one policy from a government can touch millions of young people without even your investment. And that's why we have to get government right. Policy has to take shape, and that's why we're here to hear from him. I also want to thank all the executives of NIDO France who are also here, representing from different parts of France. Thank you so much, sirs. And during the course of the meeting, because we have just, we don't have too much time to spend tonight, I would like them to make some interventions as the time goes on. So without further ado, can we just be on our feet as we welcome to the stage Honorable Tochukwu Okere, who would be able to give us a quick remark, and then we can go into the interactive session. Can we put the hands together for him?
Good evening, everybody. I can't hear any response. All Nigerians here? So it doesn't look as if it's a hired crowd. I want to be sure that I have Nigerians here. Are we all Nigerians? Yes. Some people are answering me that. Someone said no then. Are we all Nigerians?
Yes, we are.
Okay, that's fine. My name is Honorable Sir Tochukwu Okere. I represent the people of Okere North, Okere West, Okere Municipal Federal Constituency. I am from Imo State. By the grace of God and with the leave of Mr. Speaker, I am the Chairman House Committee on Diaspora. I bring you greetings from my committee. I also bring you greetings from NITCOM, where we have the MDCEO or chairperson, Right Honorable Abike Dabiri OON, who is also aware that I'm addressing Nigerians in France this evening. This is about our 12th country in movement after my visit to China. We started from Canada, Italy, like Piotr rightly mentioned, and here I'm in France, just listening to Nigerians and the challenges we are having. So it's a no-host-barred meeting today. We will take questions, take responses, take solutions. You can also advise the government. But this evening, I'm not holding brief for the executive. I'm not holding brief for the judiciary. I'm only holding brief for the legislation. So that because, in some of the countries when I arrive, what they will ask me from Tinubu's family down to the ministers about the rest of them. For some of them, I can take home so that while we are discussing, we take some feedbacks back to the government. The ones that we can solve, we will. The ones we need to put through a bill, we will. The ones that I know that is a recurrent question, I also respond to them, because there is no way we'll talk here without people asking me about diaspora voting. But I'll allow you, when you ask the questions, the ones we need to take, the ones we can take, we'll take all of them. So I've been on since 12 o'clock talking, and I'm not yet tired because I know that a lot of you have also been waiting for almost 2 hours now to see that we have this meeting. I must appreciate all the organizers of this meeting, from Honorable Solomon, Shino, members of 49, the Friends of Nigeria group, and all other groups that are recognized in this place. I want to sincerely appreciate all of you. Under this short notice, we started this planning less than 1 week, and I'm even surprised that we'll have some people seated here after we had that long session, at the embassy. I want to sincerely appreciate all of you. So we'll take time, but let's make it as brief as possible. Tone down your CV when you are trying to run your solution, because that's what I normally see. Tell us CEO, chairman of group, and this and that, and it will be too long, more than the question. So I appreciate all of you coming this evening, and I want it to be an interaction, cross-fertilization of ideas, so it doesn't look like if you are only asking me questions and I'm only responding. We bring in solutions that we need to take. Areas you need clarification, we can give it if you have it. Anywhere I am not giving the right answer, some of you are also here. You are experienced in things that has to do with diaspora. And so it's important that we take it from that angle. And I can tell you that the government of Nigeria sincerely appreciates those in diaspora. If no other thing, the volume of inflow that comes from diaspora, if people would decide to seize it, Nigeria will be in a mess. Over $20 billion is not something that you can just overlook. Several families have been touched, several investments have been touched, coming from those in diaspora. So nobody will overlook those in diaspora. You might think what you're sending, your 1,000 euros, 2,000 euros does not make meaning, but it does. When you put it together, you see billions of dollars coming into the country. And therefore, we sincerely appreciate every one of you. And I know that most of you also have challenges in terms of investment, in terms of what you want to do in the country, in terms of looking out for sources to direct some of these issues. So we're here, we'll start discussing, and I'm sure in the next 1, 2, 3 hours, we should be done with our discussion and we can rest. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, just thank you, sir. Yeah, just speaking to what Honorable Chairman mentioned around, our remittances. I'm sure many of us know, but just to reemphasize that in the past few years, foreign direct investments, of course, has been dwindling, and also even ODA, that's official development assistance. So when you combine what World Bank brings to Nigeria, Bill Gates Foundation, all the philanthropists in terms of grants, when you also look at all the foreign investments, Total, Chevron, when you shake them and you multiply them by a couple of times, it still doesn't amount to what the diaspora sends back to Nigeria. And that's the truth. So in terms of, in the scheme of things, the real investors that are not thinking of COVID, no matter the insecurity problems, their commitment to the country's investment has remained the same and it keeps rising, is actually all of us here. And so put your hands together for yourself, please. So all I'm saying is that you are a stakeholder in the country, and that's the truth. So before we go into the Q&A session, I'd like to invite Honorable Ganji to just please make some statements, and then we'll open the floor up to questions. I think he has something to say.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I want to start by apologizing because we're going to have a full house. Unfortunately, we scheduled, you got, most of the time, you got an invitation from Nido, France, and then there were counter indications and so on. We had to go to the embassy to have some discussions, and that took more than we expected. That is why we could not start by 4. I sincerely apologize. And I know most people came and they are gone. So in order not to monopolize, well, it went well at the embassy. We are receiving, to go back to history, the first time we received somebody from the house went as far back as 2008, when Honorable Dabiri was the chairperson in charge of diaspora. And how many years later, 17 or so, we are receiving the same person. We are very lucky because he didn't go to every country. He went to Canada, he went to Italy, and here he is in France. So we're lucky to have him. Unfortunately, we did not, the time did not allow us to have much time, but we will still see how we can make time to. So thank you for your patience for coming in number. We were almost at the embassy, it was almost like House of Assembly, I cannot tell you. But we didn't box it. So, but at the end of it all, it went well. So thank you for coming. Thank you for your patience. Let's have constructive discussions, and it will be well.
Thank you. All right, so just some ground rules to keep this as effective as possible. When you have the mic, introduce yourself, what you do briefly, and what city you're coming from. It's nice to know that you made a sacrifice. If you're not, even those who are based in Paris made sacrifices too. But if I hear somebody from Toulouse, I know you paid hotel bills, you took train or flight, we should applaud you. So your name, what you do, and what city you're from, and then straight to your question so that Honorable Chair, okay, I have one vote already. All right.
Because you said Toulouse, I come farther than Toulouse. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Hajia Suzuki. I am APC first, but I'm Nigerian. I'm also from Nido. I'm also a member of Nido. And it's very nice to meet all of you because we haven't been having meetings since I joined, so I don't know anybody, but today I'm able to see everybody. Thank you so much. I came all the way from Monaco this morning just for this meeting. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. When I was saying citizens in France, I didn't know somebody would say from another country, Monaco. Wow, that's a huge sacrifice. All right, I think we have a comment here. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, good afternoon. Citizen of Nigeria and a member of different associations. So we are really happy to have our honorable representative from the diaspora. So this interaction is going to be meeting with Nigerians here in France. So this is the time to empty your basket, whatever you have. Give him whatever you want to give him back, so that when he goes back, he knows how we feel. Well, the question and answer starts now. So my first question is this. It has been many years we're yearning for the diaspora voting. And I've been following activities in Nigeria. There is a bill that prisoners will vote in the next election. So it is very heartbreaking that people who send in some billions of dollars back into our country for the development of our country, and we do that, and we are not even, we don't have the right to vote. And there is a bill now, right, in the, is it the Senate or General Assembly, National Assembly, for prisoners to vote. I think that looks very awkward. I think we want to know what is really in stock for us. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe we can have a second question so we can take like multiple questions at a time. All right.
Welcome your honorable, and welcome all Nigerians that are here. My question goes back to Nigeria. For quite some time now, we have been hearing a lot of horrible things in Nigeria. Does it mean that Nigeria cannot come out and formulate a law that will prevent killing of people, kidnapping of people in Nigeria? You said today they kidnap A, tomorrow is another one. Even Major Generals, they are kidnapping them. Villagers that are even crying on how to eat because of increase of fuel, increase of everything. They still kidnap them. You kidnap a farmer. Who is going to bail out the farmer? Recently, in my state, I'm from Edo State. Recently, in my state, the killings was so much, and federal government did not do anything. Why do we elect people to represent us and they are not representing us? It is very annoying. Here, this is a country, only one person, if you kill one person, the whole country will get up and make sure that that problem is solved. No single problem of kidnapping or killing has been solved in Nigeria. What do we do? That is my first question. And my second question is, why is it that the government cannot even formulate laws that will help the youth? A lot of them, they are into drugs, they take tramadol, children don't want to go to school again. The youth, that generation is totally wasted. And we are not doing anything about it. And we are pretending nothing is happening. We are pretending that all is good. All is not well. All is not well. What is the government doing about it? There are so many other questions, but I will stop here.
Thank you very much, ma'am. All right, we'll just take one more question and then Honorable take those three, and then we can take another round.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tobin, applied for Nigeria. My question is this. A lot of young people work in Nigeria without any resources, any help. And moreover, if you're traveling from east side of, you want to go to the east. For example, I lost my cousin. He's a Navy personnel. He's traveling to east for his service. Along the line, there are 6 of them, a car accident, and all of them just left. So what can we do for the road? Like people are saying, you travel from Nigeria here, you're walking all over the streets, everywhere is tired, people are walking, no stress. But in Nigeria, we cannot even travel to our villages, our cities, and we see everything is good. Then how can we help us?
Honorable Chairman.
Okay, let me stand so that I can rest my leg. Okay, first was the question on diaspora voting. The diaspora voting in the State Assembly is the Speaker's bill. And it's part of my assignment to also follow up on that bill to ensure it sees the light of the day. I can tell you that it has passed the first reading where you have the short title. It has gone through the second reading where we have the long title to explain the amendment we are seeking. Is on the third level where it has been referred to the Constitutional Review Committee. Fortunately, the chairman of the Constitutional Review Committee is the Deputy Speaker who is working on it. After that process, when we resume, we'll go into public hearing. That is where we want to get everybody's feedback on that particular bill. So we open the floor to everybody so that it can be discussed extensively. After the public hearing, we need to report back to the House. I'm just trying to explain the process so that you don't feel that nobody is doing anything about the bill. After reporting back to the house, it goes into what we call the third reading, where both houses will come into play to ensure that the bill sees the light of the day. After that, we also have to go for the presidential assent, because the president also has to, assent to that bill before it now goes to the Supreme Court. It has to do with the Constitution, and it's an amendment to accommodate those in diaspora to hold. So these 8 processes, we are hopeful and we are praying that these processes will be actualized before mid-2026, so that those in diaspora will have an opportunity, to vote. Even though I might not be sure that all the countries in the world will be able to do that voting, because it's going to be very cumbersome to say we're starting at the same time with all the countries. But at least if the president assents to it and the Supreme Court accommodates that, we'll have some of the few countries that will start in the 2027 election to be part of the voting process. So we are pushing it strongly, and I won't at any point in time relax, because I know that it will be a great service to those in diaspora if they have an opportunity to vote. Even if it means some of the countries in Europe, the US, 10, 15 countries, if they're able to vote, I think it will be a wonderful one. And so I want to assure you that intermittently, I'll be giving you feedback. As we resume now, we're going to public hearing and other processes that we're following. Now that I have contacts here in France, we'll be updating you on what we're doing to ensure that those in diaspora, are part of the voting system in 2027. I've also encouraged those, when I spoke in Canada, I told them the same thing in China, to show readiness that those in diaspora are also willing to vote. You people on your own will need to start some level of action. And that's when I suggested the issue of a voters register. Because if we say tomorrow this thing has been put to law, how do we accommodate? We have a lot of Nigerians in diaspora without any data. You can't get them anywhere. Because some of you disappeared from, sorry to use the word, disappeared from Nigeria and came in here somehow. To get the full documentation of who you are is a major problem. Yes, those in this hall, maybe because some of you, have actually, arranged the documentation, there's a likelihood that we'll have direct access to you. Oh, we're talking about those in diaspora. We have over 30 million Nigerians in diaspora or more. Those what we have on the record, this is about 17 million. But I'm sure we have over even 40 or 50 million Nigerians in diaspora. So to get the data is a major problem. So I've also encouraged every organization, NIDO, in every country to start what we call the voters register, to start incorporating those that are eligible to vote. Peradventure, the president signs off and the Supreme Court accommodates it. We take that, we understand that, and it's a justification to tell the president that those in diaspora they are ready for the election. In fact, look at the voters register. They already compiled that, and it will be able to happen. So I want to encourage you so that you look at that aspect too. My sister talked about insecurity and the formulation of policies. The truth of the matter is that the Nigerian government is doing a lot. But for a government, maybe you have attack from terrorists and they kill people. When there is a revenge, you don't expect the Nigerian government to say that they've killed terrorists that are Nigerians under international law. You don't expect that. But I can tell you there is a lot the military is doing. This is not a making of today. We know how this thing started. It started in the past. And so what we are seeing is an escalated version of what was initiated in the past that is accumulating now. And I'm sure that the president is not looking over it. All the arms of government is affecting everybody. It's not only your community. It's in fact virtually everywhere. And so the government is not sleeping now. I'm also aware that there are also channels the same responsibility to the state governors who also get security funds to also see what they are going to do. So at all levels, the government is trying to do a lot of things to ensure that people are secured. Because if there's no security, people who can't even invest, not to talk of other foreign investors, it will come in. So I want to assure you, you know, I said I'm not going to hold brief for the executive. I'm only holding brief for the House of Representatives. But I can tell you from my inside and from what we've seen that there are a lot of things being done, even though these results don't come out easily, but there are a lot that is being done. On the formulation of policies, my brother, you know, you talked about a young man that had an accident. So I didn't know the cause of the accident when you talked about it. Okay, the bad road. Okay. You also are aware, most of these things that are coming from the executive, it won't be my responsibility to take those ones. But I'm aware that most of the roads, you know about the coastal road that you're constructing, the old ones that they're also working on. Omahi, the minister, is doing, you know, a lot to ensure that most of the bad roads, they are working on them. We have a lot of dilapidated roads in the country. And these roads, even in the next 4 years, the possibility of getting all of them done, including the ones in our villages, might not happen. You know, some of these roads we see here, some of them were done 50 years, 40 years ago. And so there is no miracle that will happen that all the roads will come up at the same time. But I can assure you that this government is not keeping quiet about infrastructure. They are bent on doing infrastructure. And the revenue to the states have also increased. And that is why the president is saying that we should hold our governors responsible for what is happening in the states. Let it be the federal roads that they will handle, but the state roads, most of these things should come from the governor. And I'm aware that most of the governors have also started doing something about the state roads, while the federal government handle the federal road. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable. So before we take the next round of questions, I mean, while we're having the first round, we had our father in diaspora in France working, the church d'affaires, Ambassador Giwasa. Can we just celebrate him and just thank you very much. All right, so we'll go to the next set of questions. I'll start from behind and then I'll come forward.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Abiodun Sufian. I want to share my experience. You should see what we are doing. I'm doing absolutely nothing in France since 1st of February. That's just to say I'm retired. I'm a retired executive in Disneyland Paris. And during some 28 years, I've been working in Disney. I've been like an ambassador of Nigeria. And I was very proud to bring some people out because I managed a department up to 300 people, including the French people. So I was just very proud to be in Nigeria and doing that quietly. Many people don't know me, but I've been in France. I came the same day with Solo. If I tell you where we came, I mean, we came 1979. We are here, we are trying to help some Nigerians to put them through. But quietly, we are not very loud. I'm not a loud person. The people who know me, well, these are Nigerian, they are part of some of us. So I just want to share the experience that, I mean, about the Nigerian situation, I go to Nigeria almost 3 times per year. I'm going next 2 weeks for 3 months. Things are not easy, but that country is so great. I mean, it's because we are loud for bad things. That's why people are painting us black. I mean, I'm so proud to be part of Nigeria, and there's no way I'm hearing bad news about Nigeria that I will not fight. Never, since I've been here. And generally, people will succumb. I convince them. That's it. I just want to share that.
Thank you very much, sir. When you mentioned what you came up with, of course, our elder here, I saw you guys are the ancient of this. Thank you for that inspiration.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nneka Abiakam. I'm from Anambra State. I'm a lawyer and executive. I'm doing an executive MBA at ESSEC Business School. It's a pleasure to see all of you looking very nice. Nigeria know they carry last. My question, I'm happy that you mentioned the weight that the diasporan community pulls into Nigeria, and because my question is related to this. diasporan community is interested in supporting Nigerian education through mentorship, partnerships, and scholarships. And I'm asking, is there a platform, or are there plans for a platform that will link diaspora donors to credible institutions so that we are sure of transparency? Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Or shall I say, all protocols observed? Thank you, because I can mention everybody's name. My name is Engineer Oluwole Ajala. I'm an engineering expert and leader for Airbus in Toulouse. My question is this. What is Nigerian government doing in terms of encouraging diaspora to use their knowledge and expertise to actually help the country move forward? And again, this lady here mentioned something about mentoring, which is also very interesting. Another hat I have is also a lecture in Lagos, Lagos State University in the aerospace division, because we created that. So I lecture there. I'll go to Nigeria about 3 times in a year. So, but what is Nigeria government actually doing from a formal standpoint to be able to help harness this? Thank you.
All right. Anyone else for now? Okay, so.
Good evening, Clement. You hear me? The problem with a developing country is well known to everybody. A developing country is like a human body. The blood has to flow. The brain has to be able to communicate with the organs for things to work. Back then in 1981, when I got my first engineering degree from University of Benin, Nigeria had about 4,000 megawatts of electricity for 60 million people thereabout. Today, there are about 250 million people living in Nigeria, and we still have 4,000 megawatts of electricity. Benin, Togo, and the other smaller countries have about 30, 40 megawatts. Now, somebody before me from the diaspora, Governor Oti, understood the problems that a developing country needed to solve to get a country going. Now, the blood system of a country is electricity supply. Now, communicating with the nerves and everything is like giving people clean water to drink. Now, they say about 2-3 years ago, before 2-3 years ago, I think the country had a monopoly on electricity development. But they say the then President Buhari, and then of course with the help of the House of Representatives, they took off the monopoly and said states can now produce electricity. And God bless us, Governor Oti has set an example. Now may I ask, what is the state of the government thinking about how to trigger this electricity supply to the country? Because without that, no matter how much money Nigerians can be given or can send to Nigeria, or no matter how much loan we can get, if you do not have electricity, the country is dead. Now, please can you tell us how far the thinking is with the politicians on how to make sure we move from 4,000 to about 200,000 so that Nigeria can actually kickstart and start developing. Thank you.
Okay, the first one was an inspiration, motivational talk from our brother that came into the country in immediately mentioned the year. And the last week I also mentioned 1981. I almost left the stage to come back to this place because I wonder what 1979, 1981, where we were when people came here. That means that he may be representing the fight for Nigeria in diaspora since that time till now. Thank you very much. Neka asked about the platform for donors and their mentoring. You know, the essence of establishing that agency, NITCOM, is for Nigerians in Diaspora Commission. And they have several platforms. If you want to do any form of mentoring, any form of support, any form of donation, the Right Honorable Abike, who was the chairperson of Chairman House Committee on Diaspora years back before she became the MD CEO of NITCOM, you understand, has access to several places that you can make that donation. So after here, I can also give you her contact, you discuss with her. Anybody that wants her contact in case there's any form of support in education, in any area, it wouldn't be a bad idea. I think she will be able to, she's very experienced in that field. We talked about, okay, the same thing you talked about was about the Nigerian government and how they can assist. Fortunately, you know, you're already doing the same thing that you expect the Nigerian government to do. But like I said, the essence of that agency is to assist. Because you don't know everywhere in Nigeria and you want to do some donation, Abike knows what to do. There are several platforms, several schools, several parastatals, several agencies that need that form of support in terms of the mentoring and support. So if we go through her, we will be able to handle that. So why I didn't say you should go through me is, you know, my position is tenured. It could be tomorrow Mr. Speaker can decide to remove me from the House Committee on Diaspora and move me to another committee. But that's a commission that has someone that is heading it. And so at every point in time, we should be able to run through her. Then for that of power, I don't think, I don't have the figures here, but I think we've gone beyond 4,000 since President Tinubu came on board. I can assure you that there's been an increment. And the states are also, you know, something with power is not something you can do in 60 days or 90 days to come on board. It's a long process. Before OT came on board, the process of that power plant you saw in Abia State has started about 2-3 years before OT came on board. It was only actualized during his term. I'm also aware that Governor Hope in Imo State is also doing something through the gas plant they're doing. They've already started the plant, but you know, it won't work in 5 or 6 months. Power has to do with a long process. I'm also aware that the federal government is doing something on renewable energy. So you see most of the institutions, there's a lot of solar work going on in most of these institutions to support what we're doing generally. But I think there's an improvement. Yes, we've not gotten to where we're supposed to be, like other countries, you know, especially in the developed world where you have 24 hours light. Nobody talks about light here. It's just like a constant. In fact, anytime it goes off, then something must be wrong with the system. You know, but you know, in our own climate, it's the other way around. Anytime it comes on, something is wrong with the system. But you know, I can assure you that there has been some improvement, especially with this introduction of this band A, B, C. You understand? You know, the major problem was most people want to have power, they want to have light, but they don't want to pay for it. And so most of these organizations were also having major challenges in sustaining that arrangement. But now that there's an enforcement, getting people to use the prepaid meter when you load is what you get. I'm sure here everybody pays for, you know, light, and so it's not something that they need to ask you for. But you know, back home, even check your villages. Some areas you see people using light without payment, accumulated bills. Nobody will run any organization, even if it's the federal government, that way. So, but I'm sure with this creation of prepaid meters that is going everywhere now, there's a possibility that we'll see a lot of changes coming on board. You want to add something to it?
Yes. See, what I would like to know, you see, when when Governor Otis started his, or the project, you said started 3 years before.
Yeah.
What I would like to know, there's concrete figures as an engineer, what are the projects that have been started today that might produce results in 2 years, in 3 years from now? Because if we say, okay, the problem is this, we don't know when it will start or will be start, these are not concrete figures. If Edo State has started something, or if Lagos State has started another thing because of their tramway, I mean, if we know that some projects actually have been kick-started, if you tell us what a lot of people want to go back to the country, because then there's this notion of hope. But if we cannot put a finger on the projects that have been commissioned or have been kick-started, then we are still dreaming. Can you help us dream less and hope for something better for Nigeria? Thank you.
Okay, you know, like I said, I didn't prepare to represent the executive here. Nigeria has 36 states. So I can't tell you that I'm aware whether Nasarawa or Sokoto is doing any projects on power. You understand? But it's something that I can find out and get back to you. But I'm sure that they've given all the states that liberty, you know, to drive the power sector in their states. But I can't categorically, like I told you, that 4,000 DC you mentioned now, that I need to get back and confirm to you. But I think there's an increment, coupled with the fact that most of these states are also working on something. You understand? That's what I can tell you. But I can get back to you on that if I get the right information so that I don't mislead you. But you know, like I said, I won't represent the state here. But if I get the concrete information, I'll get back to you in less than 48 hours. Thank you.
Okay.
Standing on all existing protocols, Honorable Member and the Chairman of the House Committee on Diaspora Affairs, and Your Excellency, it's an honor to be here actually, and we welcome you to this August occasion. I am a stakeholder in the Nigerian business environment. But let me say, before then, I was chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora severally, vice chairman, and currently I'm a member of the Nasarawa State Economic Advisory Council. I'm from Imo State, but the governor of Nasarawa State saw it necessary to include me as a member of his economic team. And that is because for several years, I've tried to do my own bit for Nigeria. Actually, I live in Ukraine, or I lived in Ukraine. I went to Ukraine in 1987. So other people that are presented before me, they've been in Europe before me. In 2000, I started my journey to Nigeria, and part of it was, during this Third Republic, I was there to start a couple of businesses and advise some government institutions. So my journey took me from that point and then took me to, I may take about 5-10 minutes to tell you a little bit about the story about what is happening in Nigeria and to encourage everybody else who want to go to Nigeria. There are challenges, but at the end of the day, you will understand that Nigeria is a good country to do business. So I was not an administrator, but I was the consultant for the Ajaokuta steel plant between 2004 to 2007. I can proudly say that when I was there, that was the time that Ajaokuta had a breath of fresh air and were able to start some of the production with the LSM and the wire rod mill. So I started producing steel, but along the line, that project was truncated by, well, I would say forces, but there are forces that actually sometimes truncate good deals in Nigeria, good ideas. So I left from there, I set up a tractor assembly plant in Mina. The reason I'm saying all this is, I want the honorable member to understand that as a Nigerian living abroad, we want to come back home to do something, but we also need government support. And your honorable member, if you can use your good office, I won't say, I don't know whether it's going to be a policy or whether it's going to be a law or whatever we call it, but the Nigerian diaspora investment needs some kind of protection. The Chinese, the Indian diaspora, and the rest, they do it. And so that is why you see a lot of them flocking back home with a lot of businesses, because the government is interested in what they are doing. So the tractor assembly plant that was set up in Mina, we started doing business, everything was good. But you see again, you've come home, you set up all these businesses. Instead of the government to patronize you, they continue to patronize foreign companies. So how do you expect me to recoup the investment that I put in the country or into that business? So several times I've been a member of several committees that were set up by the previous government. And every time we come up with brilliant ideas, these ideas were somehow shut down. And then I went into transformer production. I started producing transformers, and what was my idea? I was looking at, since 1970s or thereabout, there used to be ECN, Electricity Company of Nigeria. So they deployed or installed those transformers that were working because they were done according to British standard and specifications. Then the Indians came to Nigeria and they started producing, substandard transformers. So without going into the technical details, so for example, house planning and the rest in Nigeria is very low. I mean, not as expected or international standard. So you build a house with a 500, maybe initially 500 occupants in that location. You energize it with 300 kVA transformers. And then after 10 years, 500 inhabitants have turned into 5,000. And then you still have the same amount of energy that is supposed to be distributed accordingly. So the Indians, rather than following the best practice, so they understood that they need to cut corners. So where they need to do copper winding, they do copper and some small amount of copper and then aluminum. And so these things impacted negatively on the business, in producing durable transformers. So I've taken part in several business acquisitions in Nigeria. I've done the Kainji Dam project. I was, a member of the due diligence when we looked at it, and so a lot of proposals have been sent to the federal government, but nothing happened. So I need Honorable Chair to protect our businesses in Nigeria. If I can go on and on and on, I've done quite a lot, but recently I started to take a step backwards, and I've come back to Europe, and I still run business in Nigeria. I have a fintech company that I'm doing presently, trying to supply or to add my own value and knowledge in the Nigerian financial service value chain, and that is by helping those in the unbanked in the rural areas to have access to financial inclusion and financial services by deploying a self-service kiosk which I produce myself. So every time I do something, I do it myself. I don't take technology from anywhere, so I managed to have my own team, and we are trying to build things that we will call Nigerian products, and I want to export these products abroad. Uber, Booking.com, all these companies, they are human beings. So as a Nigerian, I feel if the government can give us the necessary support, we can do even better. But there are bottlenecks that we face. So presently, my payment platform, I wouldn't say I'm facing challenges. Of course, the challenges are always there. But if there is that equitable environment, we say this is a diaspora project, how can we assist them? At least we accelerate or expedite, licensing and other things to, help them do this business. I think that would be a very good opportunity, because there are a lot of people like me who want to come back home and do good things, but the law is not helping matters. So in Nigeria, I got stuck with the payment platform. Also, I'm still doing it. I am the official payment platform for NIMSI, FCT Water Board. I am connected to Remita, to TSA, and we're doing quite a lot, but there are still certain challenges that I face. Now I took this business to Francophone, and in the Francophone countries, Solomon is aware, I'm dealing directly with government. The government is even begging me. I'm deploying solutions for banks, financial institutions, hooking them up to digital payment platforms. And I am sometimes I'm a little bit worried that instead of supporting a diaspora initiative, sometimes we face a lot of challenges. And this is not helping in any way. So please use your good office. If you need, I can share a lot of documents with you, because not everything I can speak or say in the open, but there are quite a lot of challenges we face. And one of them is this competition with the foreign companies. We are not afraid of competition, but give us an enabling environment to compete favorably, and not favoring a foreign company that will, when you say capital flight, it's because they make this money and transfer this money abroad. Why we use our money to still develop Nigeria, and because we are Nigerians, we have interest in the country, nobody can do it better than a Nigerian. And I think we should be given that opportunity and that protection so that others who want to bring back business home will be able to do that without being afraid of being priced out or outcompeted by these foreign firms. And finally, there is also one thing I would like the federal government to do, which I think is also one. Nigerians need to be protected. A lot of Chinese companies, foreign companies, I'm not a racist, but I feel too much advantage is given to these companies. Some of them come in with thousands of workers, and these workers are poaching and taking workers that belong to Nigerians, and then tomorrow we say there is mass unemployment in Nigeria. It is because these companies come in, they have a lot of programs where a foreign company gets a job in Nigeria and is allowed to bring thousands and thousands of workers, while these thousands of workers are available in Nigeria to do that job. And finally, there should be a compendium of Nigerian specialists abroad who can be asked to come and fill up certain positions rather than spending hard-earned currency to employ foreign nationals. I still have a lot to say, but I have to stop here for now. Thank you.
Thank you. So, hello, thank you for being here. I'm February Tochukwu. I was born here in France, grew up here, back and forth between UK and France. I'm going to have a really simple question, which is, what does the government have as a concrete program to work with the diaspora? Is there any, I know that back in the day there were some programs that would be put together to bring people from the diaspora and help them maybe invest in Nigeria or come back to Nigeria, or even people from other parts of the diaspora, like from the Caribbean or from South America. But these days, are there anything, and another question which is basically linked to that is there a way to, do you have a channel to communicate with the people from the diaspora? Because right now, I don't know if it's the general feeling, but I don't feel like there's real communication between like the Nigerian government and the diaspora. There's no way for us to, there's no actual channel with precise information and ways to be able to communicate directly with the diaspora, between the diaspora and the government. And like for instance, I don't know if do we even have like the ambassador now in France? I know there was an issue with that for a while. So how do we know what's going on? I don't even know if we have an ambassador now or not. I know that we didn't have one for a while. I don't know if there's one now, and there's no way to get that information unless maybe you know the right people. So I think that might be a good way of doing things, to try to find a way to communicate with us.
Honorable.
First of all, Mr. George, I want to thank you for what you said. You've made a lot of successes in business investments in Nigeria. Yes, there are challenges, and there is no country where you don't have a challenge. Even in China, the Chinese also have challenges in that area. You talked about the area of proposals and the need to protect Nigerians, especially those that are trying to come in with their ideas. One of the major challenges we have is that most people don't get through the right door. Maybe you come back from abroad, you just meet Mr. Johnson that tells you that he knows Tinubu, or he knows his son, or he knows the minister, and you throw a proposal to them. That proposal will die naturally because it won't get you anywhere. So when you don't follow the right sources, you will have a major problem. So I always encourage Nigerians to ensure. For me, when we have some of these proposals, we will direct you to the right person to meet. I can call a minister if it has to do with a minister. If it has to do with any business parts, I can reach those people. So with our little contacts, because before I went into politics, I worked in the bank for 13 years. So anything about finance I know. I chaired the board of a fintech company. You understand? And has over 20,000 terminals before I came into politics. So the business angle we also know before we came on board. So some of these proposals, when they come on board, meet some of us. Unfortunately, you've not met me all this while, but I can tell you, bring those proposals, and in the next few months, you'll see some things, some changes happening to them, as far as they're good ideas. But let me also tell you, if I have to buy a car, and this car from a Chinese man is 2,000 euros, and you are bringing the one you want to sell to the Nigerian government at 36,000 euros. No matter the idea you're bringing, my brother, everybody has to look at the cost and effectiveness if they are the same standard. Now, if they are close to each other, yes, we now need to consider 2,000, 2,200, we need to give a Nigerian an opportunity. You understand? So sometimes when some of these proposals come, I've met a lot of people in diaspora coming with proposals, and I sit down with them from my business angle, this is not political angle, and I digest it with them. And I tell you, this might not fly. It's just an advice. And if you look at it sincerely, you know that some of these proposals will not fly. Is one thing bringing up an idea, is another thing driving that idea home, is another thing meeting the conditions that are necessary for those ideas to fall, to fill in. Like what you're doing in fintech, I know you have to, get your license and all the rest of them. But some people will tell us that they want to come in with an idea on fintech. And they will tell you the Nigerian government should give them an opportunity, without paying for license or at a highly discounted rate for the license. Already some Nigerians are doing the same business they are doing, and they pay the same fee you're paying. So what makes you different that you're coming from diaspora that will not make the Nigerian government to give you a discount? Meanwhile, this same business is done in Nigeria. So these are some of the things we need to look at. But I can tell you, if we have proposals or areas that we think we need to come in, we will support. For those of them doing that employment, I know that we have a bill that has been approved by the National Assembly in terms of employment. For every organization, whether it's Chinese or anywhere that is coming to Nigeria, there is a certain percentage that Nigerians must occupy.
That's the Local Content Act.
Yeah, the Local Content Act. So if anybody goes contrary to that, most of the times you see the law enforcement agents arresting those Chinese because it is entirely wrong. So, and I'm sure that Local Content Act is being protected at a very high level. So if we have proposals or areas that you think we can come in, I might not have the direct brief, but I can always reach one or two people that will assist us, see how the proposal can go through, and we'll be able to assist along that line. My brother that asked a question, he said he doesn't know anything about Nigeria. I have a problem because the charge d'affaires, who is our ambassador, is seated here. Where is he? The person heading embassy in France is seated here. The charge d'affaires. So this is the person. So you can see him. He's the one representing us here.
As I said, like I said, when you know the people and to get the contacts.
Yes.
What I mean is now, if someone is not knowledgeable, that someone that is not here and that is Nigerian, is there a platform for him to have all this information? And I think that's something that's...
No, first of all, if you're in any country, the first thing you need to know is you know your embassy now. You should know the address of your embassy. You have the phone contact of the embassy. If you need anything, go to the embassy. Apart from that, we also have a NIDO, Nigerian Diaspora Organization for Europe. We have a France chapter. And that is why we are gathered here. We'll talk about that one later. But it's important that this contact is something you know. But apart from that, as a committee, we're trying to bring an app in place that will assist Nigerians in diaspora so that people can have direct access to us in Nigeria. We're looking at the desk office where we have one in Midcom, one in the Speaker's office, one in my committee office, where Nigerians can have access to make their complaints directly without running through anybody. We will not be the ones to interfere with either the ministry or the embassy, where it is coming from and all the rest of them, but it's still in process. And we are looking at November before it will be launched. It will give us an opportunity, and I'm sure the embassies and the different organizations will drive it so that people can have access to it. I think with that, you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm just, and is there like a timeline for this application, or is it something that's already being...
No, it's not on board yet. It's something that we're processing. I said November. Okay, you were discussing with him then.
No, I heard.
Yeah.
I
said November this year.
So you haven't defined who's going to be able to offer this application yet? Is it something that's going to be open to market?
No, it's going to be open to the public, especially those in diaspora, that you have access to it.
No, I mean, you said it hasn't been developed yet, right?
It's on the development stage. That's why I said, for any application to be developed that has this access, you understand? Different applications, they will need to connect to different areas.
I work in IT, so that's why I'm asking.
Okay.
Is this something that,
is this going to be like a market that's going to be open to any developer in Nigeria and tell them, okay, we're looking to develop this application, who's going to submit their, who's going to submit, or is it something that you already have?
No, it's already in process.
Okay.
We have the developer, they've already started the framework. I'm not an IT specialist, but I know they started the framework and what is supposed to do, who is supposed to handle what, and at different stages.
Okay.
They're already on it. But if you are an IT specialist, it would be nice when we get to the stage of testing, we can bring you in so that you also look at, the different lines. I know that we have some other people that are also working with the developer, but we can also bring you in so that you look at the app in terms of their different arrangements to ensure that it will fly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Honorable, there was this discussion about having a diaspora desk in all the 36 states. I don't know how far that has gone. And then there is also pleading with you standing again on all this protocol. Can you facilitate the opportunity or to get slots for Nigerians abroad or Nigerians in diaspora to be in the National Assembly? I think some countries are doing it already. Kenya is doing it, Ghana and some other countries. I don't know, sometimes that idea was floated to have some members, serve in the National Assembly from the diaspora. I know it is a very...
As a staff or as a member?
No, the fully, honorable members, they have to contest for elections.
Where would they represent?
They may be representing the diaspora constituency.
Diaspora constituency?
Yes.
Okay.
But that was something that was being discussed in the past, like slots for members of the diaspora in the National Assembly. So I don't know which countries are going to represent, but other countries are doing it. It gives the diaspora a very good, opportunity to feel that they are properly represented. Of course, you are our representative, and we like what you're doing, but why can't we also emulate what other countries are doing and see if it is also work out in our own environment?
Okay, I'm just hearing this one that other countries are running, because I'm trying to think out. If we now have diaspora representative, that means we'll have maybe another 100 or something.
No, just 2-3 slots. Some countries are already
Which country are we going to choose? Is it US or France, or Italy, or China, or Portugal, or Ghana, or Cameroon? Where are we going to start from?
At continental level.
At continental level?
Yes.
Five continents?
Yes.
Okay, you think we should also push for this one?
With some countries are already doing it and they have been successful so far. I think Senegal is doing it, Ghana is doing it, Kenya is doing it, Ethiopia.
No. Diaspora representation in the National Assembly?
Yes, in the House.
No, if you're talking about diaspora voting, it's different.
No, I know, sir. Representatives, there's already some countries that are already piloting this.
I'm not aware, but I will find out more. But we have some ones on our hand. Let's finish this diaspora voting. If you say we should start pushing this bill too, even though it might be late for this 10th assembly, but we can also look at it. And I can also tell you that we have diaspora desk in all the states.
Yes, the question is how effective have they been?
The diaspora desk, they are not
Yes.
effective.
Okay, sir.
They are not very effective. I'm aware that in one of the meetings that we had, they came to Abuja, those representing, Midcom invited all of them.
Okay.
Except there are some things you want them to do.
Oh, not
Is it for your state?
For my state, I have never had one.
You've never had one in your state?
I've never heard of anything.
No, there's a diaspora desk in every state.
Yeah,
There is. Just that it's not required. But I can tell you there is a...
So, sir, now what you're talking about from the business perspective now is all these diaspora desks in all the states, you now need to connect them to an app. That app you're building, probably they have to be connected to that app so that representatives from every state abroad can connect directly to those desks.
We don't want to run it that way on that app. We
Okay.
want to restrict the app to 3 major centers: Midcom, my committee, and the Speaker's office.
Okay.
If there's any complaint or any direction, they will not be the one to direct it to the diaspora desk in the states.
Okay.
So that we can monitor feedbacks. Because if you run straight to the states, if there's any delay or any issue, these other areas will not know.
Okay.
So if you have any issue with immigration, we'll be the ones to prompt immigration and get the feedback from immigration. You understand? So that's how we think we need to run it. But by the time we get to the final stage, we also need to involve those in diaspora to know whether it fits into what you want and can support.
But we still have some questions behind, so we'll just take them very fast.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, sir. Firstly, I want to truly appreciate the fact that you took our time to still come for the second meeting after spending hours at the embassy. It's really something to commend and appreciate you for. So firstly, thank you, sir. My name is Blessing, and I came to France here for my master's, but I was previously in Hong Kong, Macau, China. And one thing I noticed is one thing I noticed is the Nigerian community in China. You know, some of them are going through a lot, and we have the embassy, but the embassy they take care of the visa and paperwork, but when it comes to helping the diaspora that I need, you know, we focus on investing, sending back money back home. But what about those that are in need of help, like that need humanitarian help, or those in the prison, or I don't know if there's a community. Then I came to Paris and I saw the same thing. You know, I met a man, a homeless man, getting to talk to him. He's a Nigerian also. So is there any community that is really helping the diaspora that are in need back home? Because back home they believe that there is a tree of money, so they don't send money back. So they are trying to survive, and I don't know what is being done in that regard, the humanitarian aspect, helping the Nigerian diaspora. If there is like a line towards that. I deal more with kids, but I've also had experience working with NGOs and helping. I work for an NGO in Hong Kong that deals with refugee, asylum seekers, and the homeless people. And I can tell you that there were also Nigerians there. So I don't know if there's anything that is being done or what can be done in that regard. Thank you.
All right. After her, yes. Can you come here to the mic? Sorry.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jumbo Justina, and we run a company together called JDE Consult here in France. 21 years in France, French, Nigeria. You said something at the early stage about the data, knowing the numbers of Nigeria, especially here in France, we don't know. And thank God that NIMC, NPC, they are coming up with something. We had a meeting with them 2 weeks ago, and they're coming up with something that every born Nigerian here must go to the embassy, register the child before they can get an NIN. They're still working on that because we don't know. We see a lot of Nigerians, the common ones that doesn't have the money yet to invest, but they are trying to grow in the country and having administrative problems. And I joined my brother here that said if he has a problem, he doesn't know where to go to, who to turn to. And thank God, to the best that we can, JDE Consult, a lot of Nigerians got to know us because when they come, we work with the French and also the Nigerian administration. Now, if you have a problem in the French side, we can advise you. We work with associations and lawyers. We can advise you, orient you to them so that they'll be able to help. If it's something we can do back home, we help them back home. But the thing is, they say a tree cannot make a forest. We want to know, I'm joining them, to know if there are associations really that wants to help the common Nigerians because they have a lot of administrative problems. They don't even know how to go about it. They go into wrong and illegal stuff because nobody to advise them or show them the path on how to go about it. And I joined her. She's come to my office before. A lot of them know me because they've come to the office. They don't know how to do this thing. And even we that are still running the office, we still need help. We need information to help Nigerians. We can't know everything. Thank God at the French side, we can run to them and we get the information.
So what are the particular issues?
For example, the administrative problems. For example, if the documentation. Thank you.
Documentation like is he NIN, passport?
Passport, NIN, birth certificates, documents from Nigeria. If the French, for example, an association will take a Nigerian from the street, wants to help a Nigerian, they call us and they don't know how to go about it. And they are ready to help a Nigerian that is on the street. Now, which part of Nigeria association or office can join them in helping this Nigerian? They don't know. personally, we can't really tell them we can do it because we are just a company. And now, are we going to take them to the embassy for the embassy to help? Because I joined them in all this problem. Nigerians are the immigrants, Nigerians here, they are really in a mess. They don't know what to do. I'm speaking on behalf of them because they come to my office, they complain, they cry. We are doing the best that we can. We will need, if it is possible, if they have associations, company, the embassy, we want to liaise with them. We want to work with them. Because sometimes in the office, you sit in the office, you don't see what happens outside. The people in the field sees it. And they should be able to come home and report and then get solution and to help those people. Please, we really need that help. For Nigerians, I'm okay, I'm a French. I don't need documents a lot from Nigeria. I'm okay. But for them, because we suffered it too. 21 years in France, we suffered it. And we see people suffering the same thing all over again. Please. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, before the ambassador replies to this one, because we'll give him the microphone to talk. Anything that has to do with documentation is beyond me. He will respond to it. I want to appeal to diasporas, and I've also told other countries. One of the major problems of Jaguar is you people. I want to be frank, because most people moving out of Nigeria do not understand the kind of suffering some of you went through here, or the kind of suffering you are going through now, because of the pictures you paint when you come back home. And so we must start a major awareness. Because when you come back, you are going back for 2 weeks during Christmas period, you come back with your 5,000 euro, intimidation everywhere, new vehicle, you start foundation, and you think it's rosy. The remaining car he has, he will abandon his job, sell his car and 2 plots of land, and start traveling to this place. When he comes here, he will become stranded. So I think diasporans, those in France, in other countries, we should start the same thing. We must create that awareness to make them understand that it's not as rosy as they think. When they call for money, you send 100 euros, you send 500 euros, they feel that means in every second you get about 500 euros. So what am I doing in Nigeria? So everybody tries to run to this country and other countries. So you people must try. And that is why we have a lot of issues of people that are suffering here. They cannot come back home because don't forget, those in Nigeria did send forth for them. Who contributed back home did send for them that they're coming to France. So he sold his car. The remaining building, the one he started, he has also sold the land. So there is nothing left in Nigeria. So if he comes here and is stranded, there is no hope of going home, unlike other people in other countries. So you people need to help us. The first point of call on awareness has to do with those in diaspora. To tell them the truth, that is not the way they think it is. And some of you that have stayed here, yes, you stabilize now, you stayed here for 10 years, 15 years, you stabilize. Make them understand that it's not as good as they think. That when you came here, you were also deceived. I was talking with a young man, he said, the truth of the matter is that they told him he's coming to a school here and also work. But the combination didn't work when he came here, so he had to dump the school, started working, doing all kinds of odd jobs. But unfortunately, he could not go home. So we need to help the system by discouraging, because there is nothing I will tell them back in Nigeria that you don't need to travel is that the original statement will come from you people. By the time you tell them that it's not as easy as they think, I'm telling you, most of them will start understanding. And maybe by the time you also visit to help us create that awareness, don't tell them that, if you come into France, in the next, some of them will just come and feel that in the next 2-3 months, they will start sending them back money. Not knowing the kind of odd jobs you did several years before you started actualizing it. So we need to start doing that campaign and awareness so that our people at home, we know that some of them are also doing some good jobs. You are earning maybe 300,000, 400,000 naira. You can manage. Your bills are low. But because, you people come back and, show off within a short period of time, they will abandon the small job they have and start running to this place. So we will do that awareness, and I think that most of you will need to support us, whether I want to do it virtual, whether I want to call a meeting in Nigeria, anyhow I want to do it. Those in diaspora should support us.
Yes.
Ambassador.
I think the last statement from JD. Sorry, I guess you are not being fair to us.
I'm sorry, sir.
Thank you to Mr. Chair for having us today. A great opportunity for us to perhaps create an impression, especially to Nigerians who, for some reasons I may not understand, choose not to come to the embassy. And they sit in their own comfort zone, assume a lot of things. And for those that were okay, let me even step forward and see what they can possibly offer. They come in and get the services. We are there to offer service to Nigerians. And again, you come into the embassy, you tell us who you are, and we have reasonable ground for us to create a sense of investigation. To say, what you are telling us, looking at it from the face value, it may sound so real. And by the time we do some background check, it becomes a different ballgame. And that's where we're having the contradiction. You tell me your name is Modukwe, you know, just sounding that we will know this could be a Nigeria. Then when you're not coming with a very fraudulent name, telling us you are McPherson, some kind of names, red flag comes in. You need to know who you are. At that point, okay, something may have happened. And what is it? Or is it that you are coming in because you've been profiled in one name, the Nigerian name you all originally had? Now you don't want to assume another name. Good thing, we are not having the name tag. Once you are fingerprinted, you presented your biometric information to the Nigerian authorities. However it is, you really cannot change it. You come to the embassy, you flag your fingerprints, presents a problem that you have an existing passport. Now you are telling us this is who you are. How do we reconcile it? We'll tell you, please go back. When you now want to tell us who you are, we will be able to deal with it. Then coming to getting documents, like the marriage certificate, such you come to. Yes, the issue of name absolutely created a problem. At the time, they were applying for the name. Some they pay, they make payments. At the end of the day, services will not be rendered. We are not doing the name. But for some services we provide, you require to be connected to name, at least. So when you present yourself and you don't have it, there's no way we can proceed. You understand? And for every Nigerian that has a problem, if you don't come to the embassy to present the problem before us, we really will not know what sort of problem you have. You let us know, and if we are unable to address your problem, we'll give you the reason why we are unable to address it, and what you could possibly do. You understand? So for some notion are being held by certain persons, some real or imagined, some are being peddled, but usually embassy may be at the receiving end. But for you, every Nigerian, you have a right. You don't need to channel your request through anybody. The fact that you are in Nigeria, you are born in Nigeria, you remain in Nigeria, you can walk straight to us. Let us know, have a feel of who you are, tell us who you are, give us every information about you, and the problem you have, we'll deal with it. Where we cannot deal with it, we'll tell you what to do. And we'll be doing a lot, and good enough, they've been doing wonderfully well. But at the time, we need to really reorganize the system. Since I became the charge at the embassy, a lot of reforms have been put in place. But if you still begin to dwell on the previous notions, I don't want you to come forward. Put yourself in the shoes of those that are on the front desk. Sincerely, you will really not get it right. You continue to dwell in those past notions. If you have any problem, walk straight to us. Where we cannot deal with it, we identify your problem. Perhaps tell you this is it. Where you are open enough, not assuming names that are not yours. Where you are open enough, we tell you this is how you need to go about your problem. Where we can solve it, we will resolve it straight away. You understand? And the issue of NIN has come in.
Sometimes you are telling some persons, no, you go get your name. They want to compel you to refer them. So you refer them, they come back, it was embassy that referred them, and they didn't get the service. And that was what we were trying to refer. Because we had a series of issues where they were saying nasty things about the embassy, that the referral was made from the embassy, so why are we not, so we said, no, they are private entities. Let's disconnect from them. You go in there to get the name done, and if it's valid, then we will push forth the solution to your problem. Where it is not valid, we will not take responsibility for anybody's what I would call a violation of this time. So for whatever reason, please, I'm enjoining all of us as Nigerians. If we can serve non-Nigerians, why would you own your problem at the embassy? The embassy is not just there for serving the interest of Nigeria, but primarily, yes. We are serving non-Nigerians. If we can do that creditably, why can't we give it to you as much as we want? Let's not run away from the fact that, yes, people have this notion. But walk up straight to us. If you do tell us your problem, and you are sincere about it, and we'll do the background check, we'll render the service. Everything you require from us. But where we cannot do it, we'll let you know. This is the reason why we cannot do it.
Can you pick on somebody to test your embassy staff? Because Ambassador Laro, Ambassador Abdullahi, and way back in the 80s, Ambassador Salem, they were my friends.
Yes.
So when I go to the embassy, I just get a pass through. But before they knew me, I went for my passport. I wanted to renew my passport. Oh, we don't have any passport available. Was what they said to me, that I had to wait for weeks. The person did not know me until I just left the person and I walked straight to Ambassador Laro's office. Ambassador Laro called the person, the lady, I wonder if she's changed, called the lady in charge of the passport something. I was already going home because I was told I was no passport 2-3 weeks. Before I got home in Paris, I got a telephone call, hey, please sir, come back and collect your passport the same day. So if you do not test the quality of the services those people at the desk give to ordinary Nigerians, you might, what they tell you is not what they give to the street Nigerian. So you have to verify before you really think the staff are there to help Nigerians.
Can I just address this? Maybe, you know, when I said that we're dwelling on the past motions, I don't know, this may be an isolated case. For whatever reason, I put to test the current leadership in place at the embassy. You come for your passport. If you do have passport booklet, you have no reason for you not to be attended. I am take this to the bank. I'm giving it to you. If you come for passport and your documentation are proper, now we have an enhanced passport system. The minute you test your fingerprints, information about you comes out. So, wow, please, for whatever reason, just come to the embassy. You test the whole process in place. A lot has taken place.
Since you or before
if there are no passport booklets, let me say it, maybe you only came when there were no passports booklets. But if we do have passport booklets, there's no way they are selling. They can sell them for Nigeria only. You understand? So,
Clement.
I am telling you, not under my watch. Not under my watch. Sorry, if you are confronted with such situation, you have a responsibility to put it on paper for us. That will suggest it to investigation. Please, if you can just do that, or send somebody to perhaps try the whole process. Please. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, our ambassador. Thank you for coming to having this interactive session. Sorry, my sister, I didn't respond, but I think that one outside here. I was in China too. I had the meeting with diasporas in Beijing. So some of those ones. Every other question that we need to take, we can take it outside here. Because I understand that our time is up. So I want to thank everybody for making our time to come. And I also want to encourage all of us, everybody in this room, to join NIDO Europe France chapter. It's very important. Please, if you are not registered with them, ensure you register with them. Because today we'll have a very long meeting, and we're able to resolve some of the minor issues that we have. And on that note, we're able to select 5 people to transit to a stronger NIDO in the next 60 days. And I'm happy to announce to you people that they are here. Maybe they should rise so that people can see them. Mr. George, where's Mr. Andy? Ajiamina, Uche, and one other person. They will help us transit to a very stronger NIDO. And I want to encourage everybody, those that are here, those that are not here, we need to register with NIDO. It's important because subsequent meetings, we won't be able to call all the organizations in France to come for a meeting because we might not have their contact. Our major contact point is NIDO across all the countries. So we want to encourage all of you to join NIDO so that we'll have a very strong one. Mr. Solomon, I want to thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. I sincerely appreciate it. And all the organizers. Our ambassador, I also want to thank you. This is the first time I'm meeting with Nigerians in diaspora, and the ambassador is sitting there right before. He's also responding to questions. Most of the areas I go to, because there will be a lot of report against the ambassador, they normally disappear. They will disappear from the office, and the next thing they will call me, there was an emergency. Maybe around 11 midnight, that I want to go back to my hotel. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you for coming. We'll continue the conversation probably downstairs. And it's been wonderful for all of us. NIDO France was contacted by his honorable, and NIDO France has at least been able to deliver, and the struggle continues. Thanks for coming. We'll be seeing very soon.
Before we leave, I just want to present a little discipline. I and my family, we are staying here in France, and my daughter is contesting for Miss Nigeria in diaspora. So I